One of the story I want to share with you, it happens in 2004. That literally changed the course of our life, our family life. I remember that very clearly. That's 2004. That's Easter Sunday time. I was trying to organize a prayer rally in Beijing. That we just wrap up the 7 church leaders, and then we organize about 49 groups. Each group drive a car, and then go to 96 different places to do a prayer rally. Just work around and pray for all the strategic places: education, government, spiritual, family, and business. Those kind of things, and we think it's pretty cool. And then later, other cities found out we're doing that. They says, "Can we do that too on the same day?" I says, "Why not? You just go ahead and do it." So we just shared a plan with them, and eventually becomes like a 13th city in Beijing. They plan to do the prayer rally in their city at the same day, and that turns to a huge thing. And the government finally realized that, and on I remember it's the April 12th, something like Thursday, the noon, and I was just all of a sudden I was taken away by 12 police, 4 cars. Just got myself a kind of very weak man in body, and then just take me away. And then they just put me into a very small, shallow police station, and trying to question me. I was very kind of scared, and also I don't know what happened, what's going on, that kind of things. I was taken in a small room. And only 2 things in my mind very clearly. That one thing is that the scripture in Act, I remember, it says, when you were handing into the officials, don't worry what to say. The Spirit will tell you what to say. Another is the one testimony, a sister who is a songwriter, a Canadian hymnal songwriter. She wrote a lot of songs, and she was arrested for a month back to a couple of years ago. I only remember one scripture and one testimony. That is my comforter. I was trying to dig in my head and trying to answer every question as good as I can. And in the middle of that, 11 policemen came to my house and then did some search, whatever, and then Kitty will tell you that later. So when they come back, and I saw they write some letter, a DVD, which is they're about to asking a question of DVD. I all of a sudden realized I had 1,000 copies of the DVD of this on my balcony, which is a banned DVD in China, which was produced for the main contents, the testimony of Chinese churches. All of a sudden, I was shocked, because if they discover that, one word came to my mind very clearly: 3 years. 3 years. I will be sentenced to jail for 3 years. Very quickly, I said, "Okay, Lord, I take it. I accept it. 3 years." So it's like all of a sudden returning to the pieces as 3 years not a problem for me. But when they ask the question, it says, "What about the DVD in your?" I reply back, "What is the DVD?" They said, "The DVD on your drawer." They were asking the DVD on the table drawer, not on the balcony. I of course it says the drawer. I had about 300 plus copies of DVD of all kinds, preachings and worship songs, whatever. And so the questions passed. I started wondering what happened to the DVD on my balcony.
And as soon as I arrived home, and I got a phone call from Benny's boss, he just said, Betty was taken away, and we don't know where he is. We don't know whether he is alive or not. We have any idea about him. And be prepared, he will be taken in the jail for at least 3 years. And then I took several seconds of silence, and then I said, well, okay. At least finally he can slow down, because he has been so busy on working and the ministry at the same time as a candle burn both ends. Yeah, so I said, well, okay, now he can have some quiet time with the Lord, which is good. I'm prepared to take the responsibility of the whole family. Yeah, and then my mom suddenly reminded me, say, what about the DVD on our balcony? About thousands of copies. And then I said, wow, we have to transfer the stuff out of our home. And I know that at that time we cannot send anything out of our apartment building, because for sure the policemen will be watching. And then I just prayed, so God, what should I do? And that time a sister just came to visit us, and she was our neighbor, and she came for the Bible study. Usually she always late at even 8 o'clock. Yeah, but that day she just arrived at 6 o'clock. Yeah, so I just told her that we cannot have Bible study today, and what happened to our home, and then she said, okay, let's move all the DVD to my apartment. And then she lives just as Benny said, just only one floor lower ours. So, and then she is very smart. She said, we cannot take elevators because you don't know any time that policemen will come upstairs. So we have to carry by the stairs. So just two ladies, we carry several boxes of very heavy DVDs, including the DVD and the copies, the publishing covers, and we just took stairs and carry everything to her apartment. As soon as I finished everything, I came back to my home and I settled down, take a deep breath, and I start to kneel down and open up my Bible, start to pray. At that time, the bell rang, and there came 11 policemen, strong men. As soon as they came in my apartment, they just suddenly turned on all the lights and separate my mom and Betty, my younger, and me to 3 different places. And then one policeman just came to ask me, say, you know what happened to your husband? And I say, I don't know what happened to him. And then he said, he is arrested. Yeah, you know, you have to tell us all the information about him. And I say, it's you arrest him, not me. So you have to tell me why he is arrested. And then he asked me, say, you don't know what your husband is doing usually? And I say, does your wife know everything about you, everything about your working? And then he just kind of, uh-oh. And then he changed, say, if you are cooperate enough, that will help your husband get out of the jail earlier. And I say, okay, of course I want him to get out of the jail earlier, so I will be very cooperative. But you need to tell me why he is arrested. Then I can tell you all I know. And then he said, okay, it's about the prayer rally. And I said, aha, you're talking about the prayer rally. So this is what we are doing. We plan to do, and we will pray for the government, for the hospital, for the education, for the single moms and everything. And we are helping you to decrease the criminal. And you don't want us to do that, or unless you worry you will lose your job. But we are helping you. And he said, but you know, this is a very serious thing and big movement. And this is not allowed by law. And I say, well, it is a big movement, but, you know, since you don't believe there's a God, so praying for you is just like talking in the air, to the air. So what makes you so afraid of? And then he is kind of nothing to reply me. And then he just changed the topic to say, you have gathering at your house tonight? I said, yes, we have. We have the Bible study. Okay, who are the people welcoming and what you're going to study? And we say we will come like 3 or 4 couples, and we're learning the marriage, and welcome you and your wife come someday. Yeah, it really will help to improve your marriage. And then he just find out that he can get nothing from me. So they just start to open every drawer and the closet and take away anything about Christianity. And then they just took everything out, and then they left back to the police station.
Well, that's amazing part of that. So 3 years in my mind, but it's just gone. It's just 1 day equals to 3 years. So I was released. And then another thing which changed our family is not just this incident, is that Emmanuel, was conceived that weekend, Easter Sunday. And then Emmanuel was born on Christmas Day. So how you name him? He's except you name him Emmanuel. So anytime I see the boy, it reminds me, the incident, the marks the encounters that we have with God. So, and after that, I kept talking with the police. So I remember that's back in 2004, and then time changes. So right now, 2012 or 2011, 10. And then we developed some sort of not just good friendships, but understandings and relationships. So back to 2004 is kind of a confrontational stage, which is the policemen are arresting and interfering in the fellowships. And right now, the things change vice versa, and they're not. It kind of comes to the conversational stage. So I have not a problem to tell and talk with them at all. So the whole dynamics has changed from to the church. So that's also, I will talk more about that on the November 3rd seminar. It's the stages. So that's about God's hand and doing in that time. So right now you have to fight really hard to get into jail. You have to mess up the whole lot of things, and then So if you get into jail, so what's the bother? After that experience, I never fear of the policeman or of the government anymore. I had a total peace whenever and whatever kind of level of conflicts we have with the government. So I think God's hand is strongly working in China, of course in US as well, but we can see His work and His hand clearly. So thank you for allowing us to share this story.